Hello, everybody. Hello to our new, I think it's the 7th poetry session evening. And let's see the beautiful poems we have today. And for that purpose, let me share my screen. And our first poem is from Tisha. Do you want to read it?
Okay. Actually, Disha said she'll be joining soon, so we can save.
So we can. Oh, nice. Hello, Glover.
Hello.
So nice to have you. Yay.
Yay.
Okay. We since Tisha is joining, we start with the second poem. Glover, do you want to read this one?
Okay. Give me a moment.
Miriam was very sorry that she couldn't be here today. She really
Oh, this is by her.
yeah, this is Miriam's.
Okay. There is an intensity in silence, so fragile it could break in defiance. Subtle as dew on a dandelion's head, it hides away from mortal noise and hatred. There is an intensity in silence that blooms with a timid reliance. So delicate and pure to sight, you shall project your thoughts there. It shall dissolve like dreams in morning's gleam. There is an intensity in silence. It unfolds with exquisite precision. Each petal opens and unfolds. Take care of each one of them, please. Innocent wanderer of the worlds, in silence your eyes gaze at me.
Glover, you're now mute for some reason.
Innocent wanderer of the worlds, in silence your eyes gaze at me, and I in them. What do you want me to say? I see the promise of a new day. In a world that forgets the sound of wind-driven autumn leaves. In a world that sleeps, dear prince, you aspire to learn what love is. Your heartbeat takes me home, where my soul shall fly with yours.
It is so
I feel,
beautiful. Yeah.
yeah. Are these two separate poems? Actually, the
No,
silence one and the...
it's a good question. They should be the one. It's a good
Oh,
question. I think it should be the one. Like it should be. I am so sorry if it's two different ones. Uh,
it could be the same because in the one with the innocent wonder of the world, it says, in silence, your
yeah.
eyes gaze at me.
Ah, yes. Yes.
In silence.
But it's about the prince. It's a like a one. Uh, it was a one big like poem.
Hmm.
But I was also thinking, who is this prince? I mean, we know who is this prince.
Little Prince? The Little Prince?
Little prince, yes.
Ah, okay.
But it's also could be a metaphor in the world that sleeps, dear prince. Prince is somebody who's searching or who is like like a archetype to some like the little
Mm.
for the the that he's searching. You aspire to
Oh.
learn what love is. Your heartbeat takes me home, where my soul shall fly with yours. Like it shows the way that look where the heartbeat comes from your heart. That many mystical um, literature is like referring heart to be the gate of our real home, or
Oh.
we are united with where I think we are united with the higher dimensions in a way that where we feel connected to others. Also in love, love is ever, embracing everybody. This is like really, really nice.
Yeah.
And it's in silence. You need a meditation. You need, I think it's like, yeah, I think it refers that in silence it's opens and unfolds and takes care of each other.
Actually, this is actually a never-ending poem because if you see, there is no full stop, only this like question mark. Other than that, there are no full stops.
Here is one
Yeah,
point. Yeah,
never mind.
here.
But at the end, there's no.
At the end. Oh, that's
Yes.
true.
That's true. But some people write like that. So I'm also sometimes write like that.
It's not a flaw, actually. It's a
You can say it's an artistic thing, like a
Yeah.
new
like the poem goes in circles.
Yes. You're talking to Clover. Clover
Hmm.
is a teacher of poems, I think.
No. I just teach English. I don't teach poetry.
Not
At
yet.
least not yet, not now. I hope to. But yeah, it's very interesting to me because I've never heard of the prince archetype before, like the prince representing like a seeker. But that's very interesting.
Because of the little prince, I think
Mm.
because there's a little prince. If it's just a prince, I will think, oh, this is like the princess theme, or it's like something. But since it's a little prince, then I always think about this beautiful like children book that says the most important is invisible for the eye.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
That's like unfamous.
Mm. Yeah.
The world that forgets sounds of a wind-driven autumn leaves.
Maybe that's what's referenced in like the in silence part. In
Yes.
silence. Yes, because I mean it's like, and then eyes, the word eyes is there as well. So it kind of references that quote, right? Maybe like it's not said, it's not seen. It is something that is invisible.
Oh, yes.
In silence.
Exactly. And when she said, the little prince, that this is also the first that comes to my mind, that the things that is like most important are not seen and in silence. You can.
Yeah.
It's a really beautiful and lovely one.
Yeah, she always writes with a lot of passion, like quiet passion, I feel.
Yes.
Like there's an intensity in silence. These three verses are also really beautiful. Like you can feel how gentle, how pure, how delicate silence is. Like it's intensely pure, intensely fragile, intense, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not just quiet. It is silence, but it's intensely. The silence is like full of something, not like just quiet.
Yeah.
You're very aware
Full
of
of something.
the silence. Yes. Very lovely.
Very lovely.
I'm thinking, let's see the next one. Do you want to read?
What's the next?
Arthur. So Arthur has a poem.
1,000 times. Okay. 1,000 times. If I were you, I would let go of pain 1,000 times. I would see the world 1,000 times. I would change life. I would become fire. I would see it all.
Nice.
Wow. You read it with I feel like with the intensity that it was written in. Yeah.
But I like, if I were you, I let go of pain 1,000 times. I like it reminds me somebody who is seeing somebody on the side and you know, you do not have to wear the baggage, but it's easy to see it for the others. It's not so easy to do it yourself, but you can give advice. If I were you, I would do it. I would let go. And then I would see the world as it is. I would not hold on to this thing. I will be free to go anywhere. And I do it like 1,000 times. And then my life would change. I wouldn't be like connected or linked with this one thing that is like bothering. And if the life would change, it becomes fire. It becomes like more live, I guess. And then I would see even more. I would see it all. Yeah.
Wow.
But I like this 1,000 times. I would let go pain 1,000 times. It
It
seems,
feels a lot, yeah.
yeah.
Makes you feel a lot.
If you can see somebody is suffering, and you know, we have different kinds of suffering. We can suffer because we don't have enough food, or we are really like missing out something. But most of the suffering, you know, animals would not suffer because of psychological things that we could not like do something or see something, or like they will, if they don't have much food, they make noise, but they don't, they're like the psychological pain is something that we tend as a human tend to hold on, but we can let go of 1,000 times, not like one time, like many times.
Yeah, like because we have to, like if it's gonna keep coming, right? It's gonna keep coming to us, the pain, and we'll have to learn to let it go.
Yes.
Over and over and over and over again.
This kind of like this sounds to me like a verse of a song. I was just like trying to sing it.
Yeah,
in my head.
she was humming, and I was like thinking, what is this going on? He was like, Mike, we have the hero. Mike helped me to put one of the poems in a really nice, like a song.
Really?
Yes.
Send it to me.
Okay.
And
Oh, I remember that
I
one.
tried to make it.
Yes, so apparently it's very easy to make a song nowadays. Maybe I could share my thing.
Oh, you want to share?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Give me a second.
Let me see. I should make you.
Yeah.
Co-host.
Uh, if you engage Clover, you also want to share something.
Oh no.
I wonder if I still have it. Oh yes, I do have it. So okay, let me share. Wait. I'm gonna share my second screen.
I stopped sharing. Okay, I stopped sharing. Now you can share.
Okay. Can you hear it?
No.
No, you have to share it with the sound.
How do I share with sound?
So if you push the share button, then
Right.
in the right there's a share with sound.
Advanced sharing options. No,
No, not advanced. The simple ones.
simple ones.
If you just open, then the very right, there's different screens and there are share options, and the first one is share with sound.
Right. I see how they made it so overcomplicated. Okay, here it is. Okay, ready?
Yes.
It is natural to feel that hope is hidden, resting hibernation, gathering itself to rise again in spring freshness rested. The only thing you can be sure of, everything changes, both good and bad, both beneficial and harmful. something truly wonderful. Knowing this, it is natural to feel that hope is hidden, not like a frightened animal, afraid to come out, but as a playful child in a game of hide and seek. The only thing you can be sure of, everything changes, both good and bad, both beneficial and harmful. There is hope in this eternal change amid wild streams of repeating cycles, that something may emerge which hasn't happened before. Something truly wonderful. There is hope in this eternal change amid wild streams of repeating cycles, that something may emerge which hasn't happened before. Something truly wonderful.
Okay. Thank you.
Ah, there it is. I've
Thank
sent it to
you.
you in the chat.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Very nice.
Who is Mithiana?
Merika, this is my writer's name.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's by you.
Yes, actually, I read this poem one of our previous sessions.
Ah.
The whole thing is that long, the poem.
No,
Or
no,
did
no.
you add?
No, he repeated 2 times.
All right. Wow, it
Yeah, it's
became so nice. It's a song now.
yeah. The lyrics and poetry has different. They have different formats. So if there's a specific poem that you wrote and you really like it, you can send it to me and I'll turn it into a song. I
What?
think because I was the other day I was practicing turning a turning a thing into a. It's basically like AI assisted music production. So I'm getting the hang of it now. Yeah, if there's anything you really want, you
We
can
should
send it to me.
we should
Cool.
definitely do our own like each chooses their best poem and send or two, and we should
If you want, I also do that. Do you use Suno?
Yeah, basically.
Oh, okay, nice. What's your user?
Yes. Huh?
What's your...
Suno.
Huh?
Yeah, I use Suno, and then I sometimes add a few things in post.
Okay,
yeah, let's ask
later.
Later, yes.
Yeah, let's do that later. It's a bit. It's a very interesting thing to do.
We're recording right now. Anyway, and I think we can go on to next poem. I like how Arthur Resende gives so much inspiration that we're going to already so many themes. Would you love to?
I had the last
Yeah, this one. This is also
Okay.
Arthur.
again. I love you with my heart. The things we would do not change. Not change. We think we dance, and to dance is amazing. All the things are holy. All beings are smart. Got it.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Again.
Yeah, very interesting. We think we dance, and to dance is amazing. It's like how we see life, perhaps. Like we think
We think we dance.
we think we
on a-
dance.
on a
I
time.
guess we can't know for sure. Is that what it means? It's like we are, but it is.
I'm trying to understand. In the beginning, because I love you with all my heart, and then the things we do not change. I will love you, but things are not changing. And we think about dancing, and it is so amazing to dance. And all things are holy, and all beings. I think because it's a love. If you are in a state of love,
Hmm.
then what does it mean? Things we do would not change.
Perhaps like it doesn't matter what we do,
I
like the
was
love
thinking
is
the
still
same.
there.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. It doesn't matter what we are doing, it would not change. Would not
Mm.
change.
And also, yeah, I'm not really sure, but does it also mean like we would still continue doing what we are doing in life, but then love kind of just helps elevate everything from behind the scenes, you know?
Yes,
Like
all things
we're
make
still
holy.
doing.
Yeah, everybody is smart. Everybody is beautiful and smart. Yeah. But why is it
Mm.
again? Is it like every time I fall in love again, or every time I love, it is like that, or I
Hmm.
recognize it again? Or all beings are holy and smart in the beginning, and then they become less, and then in the end, they're back like in that state, like this. I'm thinking like,
Hmm.
why is the uh yeah, I guess we should ask him.
Yeah. Maybe he's trying to say the poem as a cycle.
Ah,
That's why it's again. I don't know.
yeah, maybe it's a cycle, yes.
Okay.
Nice.
Hmm.
Mike, what do you think?
I think all things being smart is all things are holy and all beings are smart. It's a very interesting thing because um everything is intelligence. And I'm not sure if I think that's probably what Arthur might have meant. Or maybe he might have meant all things are smart. As a way to like there's a
Ah,
slight difference.
yeah, that it is smartly designed, like everybody
Yeah.
in that sense. Ah, yes.
And there is a difference between all beings are smart and all beings are intelligent.
Yes.
Hmm.
And I suppose intelligent and smart are it's very interesting he chose that word, I think, because if being smart is more human-like, it's more there's more human quality when it comes to smart, whereas intelligence, we're used to the idea of universal intelligence and everything's intelligent. But the word smart is uniquely human.
Mm,
Hmm.
yes. Yes. Also, I
Yeah.
think intelligence is quite human, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Perhaps it's like, the um I don't know, like our holiness and our and what grounds us as humans. Like he's juxtaposing these two or trying to marry these two, like but then the smartness, I don't know, I'm thinking like, you know, how the mind connects us to the holy, right?
Mhm.
The mind is what connects the body to the holy or to the spiritual dimensions.
Mhm. Or maybe it's a heart, but he's in love. I love you.
But it could be like any, like, it may be like non-romantic love.
Yes. And the
Mm,
dance could be also a metaphor. Like Rumi is talking about love, but he's most part thinking about love of God.
Maybe
yeah.
that's why it's called again, because we dance, and to dance is amazing. Like, I don't know, but like that's maybe why it's called again, because like you sometimes dance in circles.
Yes.
You're coming back
Mm,
and doing it again.
Yes. And the dance could be like a vibration also. Like something is like, how can
it's
I?
a rhythm
Yeah, it's a
that repeats.
that is, yeah, exactly. So it might not mean like a physical dance. It could be like a two different level that in one level he's met his lover again and he's talking about the love. The other thing is it's maybe love for the life and all things.
The things we do will
Mm.
not change. That means they keep on doing the same thing again and again.
Yeah,
Mm,
who would not
we
change?
do.
Maybe it's the same root, same vibrations, repeating over again.
Yeah. I feel like Arthur is getting just better and better at
Yes,
like his poems just get better and better.
I agree.
Yeah.
More mysterious.
More mistake.
More mysterious. Wow, yeah.
Okay, but let's see the next one.
Hmm.
Oh, Smita's. Yes, this is long. Uh,
You can read this.
I can read it.
Self-love.
Let me think. I can read it, but maybe. Okay, I read this one, and then Mike, you can read the next one.
I can read this one if you want.
Okay, you read this one.
Okay. In the darkness of life, you are the resilient note, a healing touch and pain's antidote. Like the earth, you are strong and patient, loving everyone as the flower spreads scent. You stitch up wounds with a warm embrace, offering comfort, restoring grace. You are the strength that mends the broken, the patience that uplifts when the hope is shaken. You comfort the tormented, ease their pain. Your laughter is a song, a soft refrain. Your presence is a gentle breeze in a storm and a constant warmth that keeps all warm. Moon without light and sky without blue. Without self-care, your existence has no clue. Kindness is a fragrance, even if it's for you. Feel its scent in all that you do. Love everyone, but don't forget it is true that love is a gift, you deserve it too. Realization is the mirror reflecting your style. Think about yourself and learn to smile. Kindness begets love. Love fosters truth. Wrap yourself in this comforting sleuth. Before you gift treasures from your heart, self-love is the masterpiece where it all starts. Open yourself, let your strength ignite. Cherish your joy, let it spark bright. Each day is a page within glee, written with glee, a journey of self-love, wild and free.
Wow, very nice. And notice it's a women's love. So self-love for women, like how women love, like your touch is healing and pain's antidote, like a hearth, you are strong and patient and you're loving everyone. And like you give your sense like a flower to everyone. This is like a woman's too, like taking care. But also she's bringing back to that if you feel that you are strength that means the broken, that you're always like helping others, then it is time you also take care of yourself. And your guidance is a fragrance, even if it is for you, feel its sense in all that you do. Like, if you love everyone, then you are also one of those in the everyone. So, yeah. Don't forget, yeah, love is a gift. You deserve it too.
This feels like a very feminine love. So
Yeah.
like what the World Mother would represent.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
But like in like a human form with
Yeah.
its flaws. Like sometimes we forget to we forget that we deserve the love that we're giving. Yeah.
It's interesting. Self-love is a masterpiece where it all starts. Before you give treasures from your heart, wrap yourself in the comforting slope. This is also you once had a poem about self-love, I think. No? Okay. But open yourself and let your strength ignite. Cherish your joy, let it spark bright. Yeah. Yes, but I
So
think
beautiful.
it's yeah, what is self-love? What is really, in a philosophical way, at self-love? You take care of yourself. Uh you don't neglect yourself, because otherwise you cannot like do everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's like I think of it as everyone, we have like an oil lamp. If we don't fill it up, then we can't light other
Yes.
lamps. So it's like or like we are this is a vehicle through which we express love. So if the vehicle is faulty, we
Yes.
can't spread love.
Yes.
So even when we love, it's going to be a robot that is, or a machine that's cranky and not oiled well enough, and has lots of glitches, and
Yeah.
that's how I see it.
And I think this a specific challenge that a lot of highly empathetic people, or maybe a lot of the people who exhibit strong second ray, I think it's the tendency towards martyrdom. So it's almost like giving too much and not knowing when to stop, and the urge to give, the urge to share, and the urge to love is overwhelming, and eventually they drain themselves. And I think it's one of the balancing acts to learn. It's almost like a lot of first rate people might have to learn about that it's almost like a very primitive expression of the first ray results in an egotistic brute, right? But a lot of people on the second ray struggle with burning themselves out very quickly, especially in the situation where that's very demanding of them. And it is something that they have to struggle. And sometimes it becomes a moral issue because, there is a specific second rate morality where, you have to it's almost like you're constantly oversharing and over giving. And unfortunately, in a lot of social situations, it's seen as a good thing to do. And there's a lot of challenges around that. So as much as I think that situation is comparable to a first-rate person being a bully, and it is a expression of the first rate, but in the wrong, but not the. It's a very primitive and very early expression of the second ray. Is you're just giving out everything and you're constantly drained. That's something that people, it's a lesson for a lot of secondary people, and it's a lesson for a lot of people who naturally empathetic. Maybe, race are very difficult to ascertain, but a lot of naturally empathetic people feel like they're drained all the time, and they walk outside and they feel like this entire world is going down to hell, and and this constant feeling of doom and gloom, and that is something that it's a significant challenge for a lot of people. And once they overcome that, the expression of the expression of empathy, and it becomes much more sustainable and long term, because it's very easy for someone in that mindset to become burned out, and in the most dangerous cases, that energy could become something very destructive. So anyway, I digress a bit.
This is very nice. Thank you for sharing. Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking how the nature is giving us all possibilities to develop in us all the rays, because I remember that they said that master have like perfectly have developed in them all the 7 rays, so they are able to do each role. So I think we need, and yeah, as a woman I agree. But then again, Mike, this next poem, maybe you would like to read this one also. I put them both because one is
Wow.
Oh, there we go.
yeah.
Man's sacrifice. Your heart is pure, your love is divine. For your loved ones, you burn and shine. Your heart is vast, like the sky above. You are selfless, pure is your love. You're the roof that shields from the storm, the steadfast friend who protects from harm, the cornerstone that holds everything strong, the steadfast guide through life's winding storm. Selfless is your love, endless your sacrifice. The shelter, the solid rock, your story won't suffice. Forgetting yourself, you always give to ensure your loved ones happily live. Love, care, and sacrifice in life are vital, yet self-care is also crucial to survival. Love yourself as you love your family. Do it for you as you do for them naturally. You're the backbone, solid and bold, but a broken one cannot uphold. Self-care isn't selfish. That's not the sin. Neglecting you, that's where it begins. A tree that's strong, steady, and tall casts the shade to cover all. Take a moment, find your spark, love yourself, light up the dark.
This feels like a manly version of the self-love.
Oh, yeah.
This feels like a masculine version of the other poem.
Yeah.
And it, because the themes are the same, right? Love and sacrifice, they're all about giving out. So I can see a lot of secondary energy from this. You're constantly giving out and sharing and all that. So yeah, it's very interesting.
And it's very interesting that women's and men's sacrifice is a little bit different. I never thought about so much about it. Yes, please, Clover.
Not this.
No. Just listening.
And just a side note, it is very obvious that this is written by a woman.
Ah, yes. But Yuna, did you want to share?
No, just read.
Oh, okay. Yes, because this is in woman's perspective, but also I think we have read one of her Smita's poem when she was talking about
her father
who was sacrificing a piece of land, so she could go to school, and afterwards she felt like it was like a very big sacrifice for him, and like yeah. So I think when she's writing, she has somebody in mind.
Yeah, I was just thinking about her father in that poem.
At the perfect man's sacrifice, yes. This is a love through sacrifice. You can.
I remember a very long time ago. That was a couple of years ago, and I rewatched the Harry Potter movies, and at that stage, the first one, the first Harry Potter movie, and it about 10 minutes into the film, it became very obvious it was written by a woman. And
Right.
it is the shifting perspectives in this that made it a very it's very clear
What perspective?
in many
Sorry?
ways. It's a shifting perspectives. Because the kind of masculinity or the kind of like the male archetype that's being expressed in the film or in the writing is one that's observed from the outside, not the one that's being experienced from the inside. That is why it's very obvious it was written by a woman. And J.K.
Wow.
Rowling is a woman, so
Yeah,
very
very
interesting.
interesting.
And
Yeah.
and to a certain extent, there's a similar expression of that here. I can see parallels in the two perspectives.
Can you go deeper into that that I like explain it a bit deeper? Like what do you mean by like how does it show that it's written by a woman?
Yeah, it's a man's perspective, but like a man's sacrifice. But how do you feel
Yeah.
it's written by women?
The basic idea is men and women experience the world very differently, and consequently, the challenges that men and women face are different, and the kind of problems that consumes your attention are also different. And sometimes the most obvious clue to give away is so for instance, in terms of the sacrifice, the love, and all that, from a man's perspective, it would have been for like it's not a there must be a reason for the sacrifice, and that kind of a reason the male archetype and the journey of the male psychology and the journey of the feminine psychology, they are the results of a lot of they're the results of the different, it's almost like a different pathways of growth and natural evolution. So let me think. One of the key challenges that men face nowadays, and this is distorted by popular media a lot. One of the challenges is the modern world does not provide a man with sufficient opportunities to really make their mark in the world. And from the male perspective, it is incredibly important not only to, protect and share and all that, the traditional masculine stuff, but also for the most part, it's about finding your place in the world. Like I often ask people, is there something that you feel like you belong? And belonging, the idea of belongingness for a woman and for a man are very different concepts. So it's a bit hard to explain. I could illustrate with examples. So for instance, from a male perspective, belongingness does not mean a place where you're accepted. And that's from a typical feminine perspective, as much, obviously I'm not a woman, but from what I could gather, it's about finding a place where you're accepted. But from the male perspective, it's actually not about that at all. So,
but what man perspective is like? What would the man like to have? Like, how would he feel that he belongs?
he belongs by making a mark in the place where he is to belong. So, for instance, if you think about there's a concept, obviously, about the hero's journey, and part of the hero's journey, if not all of it, is about finding it's about finding a place or going through a journey which proves that you belong. And the result of the hero's journey is that you gain belongingness. But that belongingness is not about finding a place where you're accepted. Finding a place or finding a group or an environment where a person is unconditionally accepted is, to my knowledge, closer to the feminine version of belongingness, to the masculine version of belongingness. Finding belongingness is about making a mark in the world. So
yeah, please.
if you think about the Harry Potter films, right? Harry Potter did not make a mark in the world. He was just accepted. And from a male perspective, that is like, okay, it doesn't really matter. It's almost like it doesn't matter.
I do see that difference. Yeah. Between men and women.
Also,
it's reflected in the way they are in their goals and
and this is almost like an evolutionary result of the sexual dimorphism from a long time ago. And there are purposes of each of these form of belongingness, and the purpose is really like it's almost like you're evolving an aspect of the overall package. So, for instance, the typical hero's journey would involve making a mark, but to make a mark is actually almost like exercising one's power. It's almost like the hidden. It's about the hidden potential, and it's about like what are you made to do? What are you made to, like, why are you here? It's almost like that kind of a question. And the deeper answer to that is obviously evolution. But we all know that evolution is the purpose of this entire show. But how does one evolve? And obviously there are many ways to answer that question. And I think the difference between the male and the female perspective in this represents different pathways of evolution, or maybe evolving different aspects of the personality, I think.
Yeah. I also remember in old times it was easier to leave a mark. Like if I'm thinking like that, I think in Manu laws, it was written like how people should live, and that first part of your life when you are born, you pay back some of the debt. You first part of your life you study. The second part of your life you're the householder. You when a son becomes an age that they can take over the house, the father will leave the house with them and a job and will go in the forest or like go and have a simple life and go to the spirituality and do these things. So the household is now in the son can leave his mark. He's in the head of there's a room for him, and when like it takes like there's several like but nowadays it's somebody, people are there, they're already like retirement age, but they still keep going. Some of them are really good, but some of them like could also give away the spot to the new ones. And I just recently saw this documentary or clip that how Japanese are having some people who are near the retirement and they're going to work, but they have like honorary work or they get like honorary paid. They don't have to do too much. They're just there because they have been so many years with the company and the company is keeping them, and they can give some advice. They can show how to do things to others, but the main work is for the youngers, and the youngers can see it and they can feel like, oh, I want to be in that position one day. Like it is respected that the people like who have done their time, but they're just close to the retirement, that they will have like, how can I say, a special position in the company. So that was a really interesting idea. And also what you said, yeah.
So the modern world, people say there's how there are specific issues that man has to deal with, and they're not very visible in society. So you know how there's always this thing about, oh, the man should speak up and the man should, sharing is okay. But that and men rarely talk about their own problems, and that is part of the experience because from a male perspective, overcoming these problems represents triumphs, and that is a part of the journey that they have to take. It's almost like fighting the dragon. And from a male perspective, fighting the dragon is like a key. It's like a key story of your life. If you ask any man out there, oh, fighting the dragon, it's like, yeah, man, fighting the dragon. We're fighting the dragon. So that's like one of the differences in here. And so obviously at the end of the day, everything would converge. And I do believe that at the end of the day, the male and the female evolutionary paths, they will come together, obviously. But for the moment being, right, like we're not, at least I'm not very enlightened. So I could speak from my own experience. Fighting the dragon is it's a very fun thing to do as well. So like for a lot of men, it's about looking for fun and looking for excitement. And that is, it's sort of a different expression of energy. And I'm just using that as a rough, like I'm talking about energy, obviously, not saying, oh, all men are like reckless and all women are like loving. No, it's not about that. It's about the expression of the kind of energy there. And I think ultimately, I mean, who doesn't like excitement and stuff like that? So, it applies to everyone. But it's just, I suppose, more pronounced when it comes to like a man's journey throughout life and a woman's journey throughout life. So I've read about depth psychology some time ago, and apparently the ancient Greeks carried this very well. And for the ancient Greeks, right, the archetypal female psychology was represented by several stories, and one of them was the story of Venus, and the other was the story of Persephone, and they represent the female psychology and how it grows. And for men, it's more about Hercules and stuff like that. So there are differences there.
Yeah, but I'm thinking we all have man and woman energy. And by the way, in the end, there's a poem with the dragons fighting.
Yay.
So,
Oh, really?
but let's go on now. We have Glover. Would you like to read this one?
Oh, okay. Let's not hesitate. Let's not hesitate. Let's be bold. Bravely go ahead to embrace what the future holds. Let life lead the way. I'm tired of fighting everything you say. Just let go and spread those wings. Soar into the wind. Trust your feathers, once so fragile. Now they've grown stronger.
I like this message. Let's not hesitate. Let's be bold. It's like, I mean, women is writing it, but it like you take, we have the both energies, man,
Yeah.
like female and masculine energy, and you have to, I think the ideal person is who is well balanced in those, and also women have to learn, sorry, how to work. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like this one because it shows the natural urge to be free. And freedom, I see a lot of so let's not hesitate and let's be bold. That is almost like it's almost like you're fighting against some sort of limitation that has kept you in place. And it's almost like you have the urge to be free, and that's a really good thing.
Yeah.
Bravely go ahead and to embrace what the future holds. And I'm tired of fighting. A part of me thinks that it's almost like a chapter of your life is ending, and you're excited about a new thing that's coming in, which it's almost like the end of a chapter and the starting of a new one. And that's a very exciting moment, I think.
Yes, exactly. This is exactly it, actually. Yeah. So, like, for me, I've always gravitated towards freedom. Like I always want to be as free as I can be, and but of course, myself and circumstances, I always feel tied down by myself and by my circumstances, sometimes by others. So there's this urge to just go, just do. Um, and yeah, I think it's interesting that yeah, oh yeah, another thing that Mike said is true, that yeah, I'm tired of fighting everything you say. I think it's just a kind of like just a zoomed in view of like this kind of a voluntary resignation towards like all these the problems that I have already faced, or I'm currently even facing. Like I just want to I'm not going to fight it. I feel like yes, kind of entering into a new phase of life, kind of lift I feel lifted above the clouds, and so yeah, I feel like it's like when we still feel the urge to fight or resist things, circumstances and people and ourselves, then that means that we're still clinging on to these things. So I think being able to just realize that all this fighting, all this resisting is tiring, for me is a huge step. And also it's definitely cyclical. It's going to come again and again. And yeah, ultimately I just want to be free. And I think it's interesting from a feminine perspective as well. I've always felt ultra feminine. Like yeah, like a yoga teacher once told me, like there's nothing hard within you, because she's from RTS in Singapore, and she said that she can feel energy, she can sense energy basically. So she just told me once that she said she says there's nothing hard in you, like everything is like soft. Like she just tells me I'm like super super feminine basically. So, and I realized that one of my biggest struggles in life has been the masculine side of myself, and also like to be wanting to be more masculine, yeah, in order to feel like I belong, and to be able to do many things that I am unable to do because of procrastination or hesitation and all that. So I want to balance, or be more balanced in terms of my feminine, feminine and masculine inside me. So
This is
this
so
kind of,
beautiful.
I think that's really well put, because at the deeper level, the urge toward freedom is actually a very first-rate thing. And because if you think about it, power and freedom, they're actually two sides of the same coin. And
oh,
a lot
okay.
of people would so things like, if you look at the first ray and the seventh ray is primarily about structure and all that. And freedom is the opposite of that. Freedom, a bit of a chaos, a bit of a destructiveness, even. Well, that's a negative side of that. But things like another side effect of destructiveness is actually you're finding it's time to give it up, and you will just detach. So for first-rate people, it's very easy to detach from a situation they see. All right.
Interesting.
So things like detaching, things like drawing boundaries, they come very naturally for a first-rate person. So the urge to freedom and the urge to almost like, and at the end of the day, it's the same thing, and that is power. So power, freedom, detachment, boundaries, they are actually the same expression. They're all part of the expression of the first ray. So it's almost like the first ray in you is starting to wake up, and the expression of that would, I think it will be like Meriki said, right? We eventually will have all the race. So maybe that's, a side effect of that.
Wow, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, like I've always felt like am I was lacking in like first rate qualities, like leadership and all of that. Like, yeah, but at the same time, there is this urge to be more like that, like someone who is empowered, someone who is free. Like there's a strong urge for that. So I feel like in this life, that is something that I'm working towards. I feel like I'm very very second rate. Maybe by default, if you could say that. But then there's this urge to be more free and to be more empowered. Yeah.
Because then you will do your work better. I think this is related so much with the previous poems and also with the what Smita wrote about the self-love. You need to have it like this towards yourself, so you will have more to give out, and also like this dance is going on. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Everything just fit together so nicely.
Yes. I very much like this. I remember when I first time read it, I was like, "Oh, this is exactly what's what I need to this moment. Let's not hesitate. Let's be bold. Let's bravely go ahead. Embrace what the future holds. Like whatever it is, let's accept it and."
Yeah.
Because it said we will not given more than we are ready to receive. Like if we are given some possibility or something, even if we are not able to like, do it perfectly, we are getting it for some reason. We are learning through it, and it prepares us for some next thing, some future things. So it's never only about the thing that is in front of us. It's always about everything around what comes after that, and this is just part of the bigger picture. Just yes,
Yeah.
embrace the future.
Yeah, I love that.
And
That's
I'm
so
tired of
beautiful.
fighting. Also, I'm tired of fighting, but it means the way you fight. If I read this, I was thinking about there's two ways of fighting. Like in Golden Stairs, it is said you should not defend yourself if you are somebody is accusing you something that you have not done. You should not like put your energy of fighting your but if somebody is attacking somebody else who is unjustly like then you should step out and say this is not it. And you also should be always defend the principles. So I am very much like this. Like if somebody says personally something, I'm like, okay, yeah, let it go. You may have whatever. I cannot say it whatever, but like yeah, this is your.
Yeah, not taking things personally.
Yeah, exactly. You
Yeah.
at least stop this fight because it takes this tiring a lot. But there's some other fights that you cannot like. It is like not right to drop. I mean, in
Yeah. Yeah, and if I don't know, I've always felt like if I don't feel free and empowered, then I'm always kind of held back when I should be doing what I need to do, like when I should be
so
when
familiar for me. Yes, I have the
yeah.
same thing. I also feel like if I don't feel perfectly, then that something is wrong. But now I recently read this one quote of the masters, but the context was, I don't remember it word by word, but the idea behind was that they put people to do things who are not perfectly ready yet. But if they would wait until everybody is ready to do the thing, like there's not a quest, but there's like a thing that needs to be done, then they have to wait a very long time and they don't have the time. So sometimes they put a thing ahead of somebody who's able to kind of do it, but they are doing it imperfectly. But they are evolving through it, and a lot of other people through it, and it's neat. And I was like, that makes so much logic because you sign the theosophical papers that you want to become a member, and that automatically do not make you a theosophist. I mean,
Mm.
members have so many flaws. Even the founder members had flaws. So
Yeah.
we should not look at the flaws. We should look what they tried to do or like behind it.
That is so true. Yeah. Wow.
Another thing I'd like to add is people have, generally speaking, people have different personality ray and the soul ray. And people, they would go, the literature goes to say that we actually have a different ray for each body, but that's a bit, too nuanced or complicated. But for now, let's say we have a different personality ray and different soul ray. And the result of that is as you grow, as you evolve, and as you learn more life lessons, and as you, reflect and perhaps become more authentic to yourself, that soul ray gets expressed more. And so, for instance, a person with if the personality ray is like, let's say, a third ray personality who's been very, the person may have done very well throughout life, throughout education, third ray personality, they could, pick up things very quickly. But once they get later into life, they might be like, hey, the soul's ray is actually a very different ray. And that produces a change in life's trajectory as they become more authentic to themselves. So when people start to become when people start to get more aligned to their soul ray, and that ray might be different from their personality ray, very interesting things happen because they tend to go into things that's completely different from, what they might previously have done. And the expression, we're not always like 100% dominated by either the personality or the soul, as at least, while we're still evolving, while we're still growing, we're not 100% either. And so there would have been a lot of conflict, a lot of conflicted decisions for someone who's like sort of in between the personality and the soul. And say if a person has a first ray personality and like a second ray soul, right? They would have been constantly like fighting, and once they fight, sometimes they feel bad about it, and they, it's almost like they're constantly torn between the two possibilities of, constantly fighting and constantly, feeling bad afterwards. And that's part of the struggle. So for someone in your circumstances where you might be feeling the constant urge to be free, but at the same time, as you've mentioned, maybe it's a lot of the second ray there as well. That could be a source of the conflict. And once the conflict ends, either the soul would have came out triumphant, or maybe the personality remains a very strong grasp of the personality at the moment. So that is actually a reflection of the inward struggle between the soul and the personality, I think.
Right, but that's very interesting. And how do you know which is your personality ray and which is your soul ray?
I can't speak for everything, but in my experience, right, the more authentic you are, the more you're likely to be in your astral or perhaps mental. I don't know. Authenticity is a very strange term. I think usually, right, because if we make the assumption that we're sort of evolving as we go, we're not going backwards, you would reasonably expect a person to gravitate more toward their soul as they grow. But that could be wishful thinking. Some people regress, but I'm hoping I'm hoping most people would, progress towards their evolution and become more focused, become more soul-centered as they grow. So if there are things that you have done before, right, and you really enjoy doing those things before, maybe that's part of the personality. You will still enjoy it, but new things will open up, and that might be the soul.
Wow. Okay. And as we become more ourselves, like as authentic as we can be, we're gravitating towards we're aligning more and more with our soul, right?
Possibly, but there is also an astral layer in between. A lot of
Right.
people get stuck there because people um so they so people feel like, oh, they're very, very authentic and all that, but that authenticity could very well just be the astral body that's vibrating stronger. But the physical body, like if you just observe if you just look at like a person's physical characteristics, that sort of tells you roughly what kind of ray that physical body is. But then, things like astral body, think about your desires, your urges, and what do you feel, what moves you emotionally. And that's a reasonable indicator of, what kind of, so sometimes people, in some cases, people were like, if they grew up very conservative and in very strict families and all that, maybe it's the emotional body that gets liberated first. And when they feel like, oh, I'm becoming more authentic, they're actually becoming more emotional, and their emotional ray will now dominate their personal outlook. So yeah, it's complicated. But by simply thinking about, I like to, ask people like, what's your favorite story, and what's your favorite story, and that sort of gives you a rough idea about which way emotionally you're leaning, and do stories still have a very strong hold on you? Like if you experience like a very emotional moment, does that still have a very strong grip on you? And that's probably a good indicator of like, is this new urge a is it a like emotional thing, or is that a mental thing?
Wow, so interesting.
But on the other hand, some people grew up very wild, and so they're very used to that emotional vibration, astral vibration. Then the question is, if you go from that point onwards, which way that ray goes. So I think a lot of it involves, reflection and thinking about your own reactions, and basically, meditating on those things. But yeah, it's different from person to person. Speaking of my own experience, right? I always felt this great tension between the first and third ray, and I didn't know what that was for a very long time.
Wow. First and third.
Yes, I can see that. Yeah, I think we don't. I mean, it's interesting to know, but also I think life is like so smart. It gives us exactly those how can I say, things that we need to work. I mean, if we put too much emphasis on the race and it is not needed, then in some next birth we came to a place where maybe they don't have like this kind of race, like we don't have this kind of knowledge, and we still have to do the things. So like we still have to face what we have to face. So it's I mean, we are in a good position in that way that we have this knowledge to understand. Yeah. And I also very much agree with the last verse, like when we are faced with the wind and we grow the trust in our feathers, then, once we are like a small, cute chick, we become stronger. And we become like we can rely on our wings, and even if the branch where we are sitting will break, then we will survive. And
Yeah, that's very beautiful.
yeah, you can do it, Clever.
Yeah, you
But
too.
thank you. I was my team is dragons. Like I don't know where Mike took, but I was writing about dragons. Uh, yeah, just yesterday I was starting writing, and yeah, it came up, so I will read it now. The dragon's true test. Wise one once told, a true person is he who doesn't see others in darker colors than they really are. I felt it and was startled by how easily rises in me the dragon head of habitual exaggeration. Once, from ancient times onwards, there have been three doors that our spoken words should pass. They are: is it true? Is it nice? Is it necessary? So often, when witnessing dragons to fight through the first entry point, I let down my guard for the rest. Sorry need action, they say. When you are really sorry, the decision to change your behavior will follow naturally. The wise have said, loving someone is seeing them as God intended them to be. Not what they were in the past, not what they pretend to be at the moment. So the true test of my dragon lies. Is she able to see others in brighter colors as they really always were intended to be?
Wow.
I really like this one. And a wise person once said, a true person is he who doesn't see others in darker colors as they really are. And I think there are some I could relate with this, with some interesting, I suppose, anecdotes. And that is the kind of mask that people are put up, right? Like people are very different from what they appear versus who they actually are once you get to know them. So, for instance, there are some people out there, like if you look at someone, it's very easy to judge someone by their first impression, and that first impression could be, it could be many things, but how do I put it? The it is actually it is actually a necessity nowadays for a lot of people to wear a mask, and that mask can be anything, and that mask is completely not who they actually are in life. So I've seen both. I've seen both directions in that example. Some people look very mean and nasty, but they're actually very soft and very kind in private life. Some people look very funny and very, happy, but they're actually miserable and they're actually mean in real life. So people, the kind of the true person who is he who doesn't see others in darker colors as they really are. I would go and say there's a fairly significant proportion of people nowadays who actually use that kind of a outward appearance as part of their professional life, or as part of, like, it's almost like the kind of job that they have to do.
Like
if you're like sorry, you go.
Like actors.
Like actors, but not just actors, like salespeople, like people who sell things, like people who are in like management, people who are in not just management, people who are like dealing with clients, people who are like, involving any kind of people business, right? It's inevitable that they will have a different outlook. So their personality and their soul are it's almost guaranteed to be, it's going to have to be different. And the kind of outward expression they give, right?
Yeah.
It's like that's your job. And a lot of people who look very mean and they say, oh, we're going to fire 100 people this month, but they're actually, that's actually part of their job. So, and a lot of people regret it because being mean is not it's not a lot of people's nature.
I see. That's very complicated. But also, I guess there is a, like, as we get to know someone, I think we can make the choice of seeing them for who they are, or if we take what they say to us personally, we might judge them for their outward appearance. So yeah,
I
think,
also think like about the salespersons. I remember some part of my life I was also one of my job was a little bit selling, and I remember the best thing is first person you have to sell this thing is yourself. If you like this thing, you can sell it to others. If you don't like it, if you don't see a value in it, you cannot sell it to others. So the first thing is to sell it to yourself. If you really see it's valuable, then you're like more authentic when you're selling. Otherwise, people can felt like you have some alternative motive behind you. But
yeah.
about here, the darker colors, I had a situation and I had a problem with some people, and then I saw this message, and actually it's from the masters. It's a quote that I rephrase from one of the master's letters, if I'm not, and I didn't want to go into that, but also the last one, the last two, oh no. Yeah, anyway, the darker colors, and there was a longer quote that was saying like it is a true person, and whatever other qualities they have, if they are having their karma in the group and do not see others as darker colors as they really are, and are facing, doing this and this and this, then they will be supported whatever other mistakes they have. And I'm like, wow, this is so nice, because also at the feet of the master it is said, if you think bad about the others, there's several things you do. First, you put your head of those things about this person and you're covered with those thoughts. The other is, if this person is still not perfect, you will affect them to be like more like you think. And then the third one is, if you speak about it, you will affect others to do it. And this is like a lot of bad karma in the end. And I'm like thinking the darker colors, like, okay, somebody is doing something that I would not do in this way, but everybody is in their different level of, development. And it's okay. They do not have to be, it's really hard for everybody to be in the same level. And I don't know if it's totally even possible. But the idea that you can see how things are, but if you're very in love, you will start seeing everything that this person do is wonderful. Everything is beautiful. You will like make it like, but at the same time, if you have some bad experiences with something, you do this opposite. You start seeing everything they do bad. Although most of the things are not, maybe there's some few aspects that is disturbing me, but most of the things, if I'm really looking like objectively, are like every normal people are doing. So to really not see others darker colors as they are, this is like the first step. Like the Dalai Lama said, if possible, do good, and if it's not possible to do good, at least don't hurt anybody. So this is like, at least don't hurt anybody. At least don't make the darker colors as they really are. And if it's possible, then think of them as God intended to be. I mean, God is intended everybody to be this, perfect light person. Like, how can I say? We're all, they say we become true person, true human when we become masters. We are still like becoming a human, like in that sense. We are more
Love that
like
perspective.
animal human than the real like a Buddhi or higher human. So
Oh, once we get there, it's like they're called super human, perfected human beings, right? Perfected
exactly,
human beings. So I
exactly.
guess, yeah, that's kind of like the flower
Oh,
flower of humanity.
yes.
And just a
And
personal note on that. I just sharing some of my personal experiences and observations, right? And also a theory that I've learned a couple of years ago. Well, actually a long time ago. But the theory goes like this, right? In Second World War, it became very obvious that, you know, you have like Nazis and stuff like that, in Germany and Hitler and all that stuff. And people became curious, like, how could an entire nation of people like be evil? And the person who came up with the theory, his name was Bonhoeffer, and his theory is no, people are not evil, but people are stupid. And so I have since observed in a lot of situations and in a lot of circumstances that when you think that someone is bad, right? They're actually not bad. Um, there are very, very few evil people in the world. Like there's almost you would almost never encounter someone who is truly evil. But the reality is most people are functioning in a state of fear, and most people cannot think clearly for themselves most of the time. And so the result of that is it's very easy to overread the situation and overread it into like, oh, this person wants to hurt me. No, he might just be stupid. And so that could be the true, that like saying a person who's evil is a darker color than a person who is stupid. And the person who is stupid is a darker color than a person who might be incompetent. They're just not good at what they do. And I think we've all had that experience before, like someone who's incompetent, and the flow-on effect is, well, you get bad results and you get a lot of bad things. So vast majority of our woes in this world could be reduced down to fear, stupidity, and incompetence. And all of these are much less dark, I suppose, than evil, than like just bad, than, a lot of the other more darker stuff. So just, just from my experience.
that is nice. I mean, not nice, but this is true. And I'm also thinking what I have said, that if we know the philosophical truths that about those things, then our karma, if we know about karma, if we know about it's not too good to talk behind your back bad about others, that we will not tell to their face, or like there's a certain ways, then if you do it by knowing what is it caused, that this is karmic thing and you should not do it, then has a worse result than somebody who has no idea about it. Like that they are doing it because everybody else, they just don't do it. They are like, how can I say? Yes, like unwise, but at the same time, if you have wise and you still choose, that you are making like a worse karma in that sense.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, I feel like, so I have a colleague who is, I would say she's very compassionate, very empathetic, but at the same time, she can be crude with her words. She can be accusatory, like whenever we would do something that's not very, like that she disagrees with, she'll be very direct, sometimes very blunt with her words and her actions, but then at the same time she is very kind and honest. So yeah, what I realize is it's very, there are so many of such people in the world, and I think if, as long as we have the capacity, I think it really has to do with our capacity of not taking things seriously, not taking what other people say to us seriously. And I realize, like, sometimes if she says something that is a bit, that is quite mean, either to my face or not to my face, but referring to me, like while I'm there, I just stay silent. I stay silent, and I realize it kind of, in that silence, it just it's easier to kind of let go of what she says and kind of not take it personally. And then afterwards, I realized that everything is back to normal. So I don't know. I just want to share this. I just
Thank
feel
you so
like
much.
there.
But I feel it's not so much taking seriously than taking personally.
Oh, sorry. I mean personally.
Because there might be a truth. Like I'm thinking, if somebody says something and it's absolutely not true, I will be less affected than if there's a little bit of truth that like hurting. Like it's like she's right, but again, like there's three drawers. First one, is it true? The second one, is it nice? Even if it's true, you can always put the same true facts in a way that it is nice. Like you can say something and accuse, or you can say it, well, it will be better to do it next time in that way, because you cannot change anymore what have been done. Like what is your aim by saying those things? If your aim is make somebody feel bad, but why? Like if your aim is that next time things will get better, then put it in the same. If you make this person feel bad, will things get better next time? Maybe they will, maybe they'll not, but you have ruined some good energy, and you make some karma. How to say the same things in a way, even if it's true? This is my where I'm very much in, like, I think if it's true, it's already ready to go out. But no, now this is the thing, how to say it in a nice way, in that sense, nice way that the other one will not be hurt, because people are so different level how they get works.
Yeah.
Not get hurt if somebody will say me this comment, the comment is true, and I will try to face it. But some people will get hurt, and I'm like, okay, now that I know it, the very least I can do, if not just say sorry, but the sorry means that you try to change, you try to make it nicer and necessary. I mean, is it necessary at all? If I have to work with them in the future and we have to do some, and I think it will be helping to do something, but sometimes it's a comment that, is it needful at all? Sometimes it's not.
Understand.
That's such a good point, and this is actually something I'm very deficient at. And another observation is that the three conditions, right? True, nice, and necessary. I have a feeling they represent the first three rays. True, nice, and necessary. And and if you think about that, right? Like I find myself very much deficient in is it nice? But
you're nice.
I don't throw things at people like that, but I'm working on it. But if I were to speak the honest truth, it can be very harsh at times. So I find myself working on that. But is it necessary? That's a very much it's a very third rate thing. It's like, is it necessary? Is it economical to say? Is it, do you have to do it? It's almost like weighing the pros and cons of something. That's a very third rate thing to do. Very analytical. Is it true? That's almost like truth is like of paramount import to like first rate people, and also second rate people. Wisdom and truth go hand in hand. So yeah, it's something I'm working on a lot. But on the other hand, it's very hard, in my defense, in a lot of people's defense, very hard to simultaneously satisfy all three, because if it's true and if it's necessary, you tend to just say it, and because it's true, because it's necessary, what else is there? A lot of people think that way. And a lot of people think other ways. Is it nice? Is it necessary? If so, let's do it. So what if it's not true? Like if we tell white lies, how many times have we said something to make other people feel nice, but it's not true? And I think I think a lot of people do that. I do that myself too. I caught myself, telling white lies all the time. Is this a nice picture? Someone paint a nice picture. Is it nice? Um, are you going to say, yeah, it's great, I like it, or are you gonna say like, it's not true, nice, and necessary? It doesn't fulfill all three. I'm just gonna smile and say, have a nice day. It's like it's very hard. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's true and nice, but not necessary. It's almost like a flattery, and you feel genuinely, it's isn't necessary, although it does good. So it's when we're talking about bad things, right? We tend to make up our minds easier. Like, is it true, nice, and necessary to tell someone that they're doing a bad job? It's probably not necessary if they already know about it. So it's easy to make up our minds in those cases. But what if it's about the nicer things? Like, should you be over complimenting someone? Should you be like I said before, should you be telling white lies to make people feel better? Should you validate something that's not true? And there are some very significant consequences of this. If we were to take away is it true and just say nice or necessary, a lot of things will break apart. And much of how society works is predicated on people telling white lies to each other and make people feel nicer so they could get along better and get on with their day. So how do you balance that? It's actually very hard.
Yeah, and I feel like it's in a way it's a very fun process, like trying to balance all three. Like just kind of like a game that you can play with yourself as you go through your day. Okay, is this I love that it has the goal or the ideal is to be able to balance all three and not have any one of them missing or too much of one and less of the other. Yeah. So very interesting.
Yeah, today I also like very much what you say about, I also think it's a little bit like a claim that about the true, like at least that much. Is it true? If it's total lie, I will try to check it up if it's possible. I feel if I'm going to tell it to somebody else, then like I try to check it up to value in my mind, is it like reasonable or true or something. Today I was listening in the morning, Dora Kunz was speaking about, there was this one part when she was talking about masters, and she said that master is like very dignified. And what she meant by that is that if she could say something with 10 words instead of 30 words, she would use those 10 words. And I was thinking, wow, also, do I need to say something like more? Like necessary is also like, is it necessary to talk that much? But if I feel like I'm not able to say with the words what I want to say, then I keep putting. But to be a very precise, if I feel free, then I'm not that precise. Then I will tell like it comes to my mind, like how I think. But if I feel more like I have this one chance to give this one sentence or something, then I will really think it through and write it out and put a lot of emphasis in it. But necessary to say it at all, yes. For me, it is so much, is it true? Is it a lie? But I also have the white lies. Like there's this community of artists, and sometimes what I go and see their works. If somebody is giving like me some like evaluations or something, I go and see what they have done, and then sometimes they're like, I don't want to say so bad because everybody is in a different level, but they're like, I don't find anything. I want to give them appreciation back, but I don't find anything like that is worthy. And this is usually I find something, then it is like more or less. So I give them a nice evaluation. I don't give the bad ones. But somebody says, if somebody is doing a bad job, then appreciate them in those moments that they are doing good job. Then this point is growing in them. So this is also like give emphasis, give your attention to this, what he or she doing good.
Strengthen the good.
Yeah, see them in brighter colors. They say don't see them in darker colors, but it does not say that don't exaggerate at all. Sometimes I think it might help if we, how can I say, sometimes if you're like in a monkey love or like a puppy love, you see everything, oh, she's so perfect. But if you could see, how can I say, this person has potential, like, or like, I know they can do it. They have the energy, they have the inspiration. Like, I don't like, let it go how they solve it. And if they don't solve it like I had it in my mind, it's also okay, because I do not really know what is going on for them. But it's like, yeah, a little bit like a freedom of, um, trusting. You, like Clover, you said in your last poem that trusting your wings, that they are strong enough. Also trusting that others' wings are strong enough for whatever they have to be carrying.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I'm going to remember that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's getting late for me, but I feel like it's really late for you, Mike.
Oh,
Isn't it?
Yeah, well, I'm actually all right. I'm used to sleeping up fairly late.
okay, Mike, what do you think? We have actually we skipped the first poem because Tisha was supposed to come, but she didn't. But we can just put it also to the next time when she's coming.
Who?
We had the first poem we skipped because
Oh.
Tisha was supposed to come to join us.
Tisha? Who?
Tisha.
Disha.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know Disha. Is she?
You will come, you will let no, she's
Nice.
sometimes, yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
let's see her first poem, because this is the last poem.
Okay.
But the first poem was this one.
Tisha and
Yes. I can read it and then we can discuss it.
Okay.
Pen and paper, the sacred tools, ink and bottle, resplendent jewels, polished words, marble thought, wordsmith etches as one ought. Upon paper, sculpting art, pen engraving from the heart, ink overflowing with emotion, chiseling with each striking motion. The sculpture built from the mold of the writer's secret untold. Each feeling graves a detail until the statue awakens to inhale. The figure will forever sing through itchy winters to icy winters and blushing spring. The poetry of a fervent mind, poet and peace forever intertwined.
This is
a lot of nice metaphors.
Yeah.
I like, for me, especially the last part is so important. Before it says like the tools, how they are together, and the words are together, like having, but the poet and the piece forever intertwined. Yes, because you are writing yourself. They say the artists are writing or drawing 96 or 90% of themselves. Like Mike said before, like you understand if the writer is a female or a man by how they write, but I guess there could be a very professional female writers who can oversee it, and the opposite might also be true. But I can see in this poem this kind of process of creating art in different forms, and also playing a little bit with the words and to get nice rhymes out of it. But I liked very much the ending.
I like the first paragraph, pen and paper, the sacred tools. I think we could all relate to the idea that writing is actually the process of thinking more rigorously. So when we write something, we're actually putting thoughts on paper, and because our thoughts can now be recorded down, it becomes much more rigorous than for instance, just talking. So that's my first thought about this. And the second bit here is upon paper sculpting art, pen engraving from the heart. Very often, right, we write from the basic idea is to write something, we have to have something to say. And for a lot of people, myself included, if we have something to say, most of the time it comes from the emotional or astral side of things. Because if we're writing like a textbook or something, then that's more of the mental body. But most of the time it's from the heart, or hopefully it's from the heart center, but that process. There's a saying in writing that you can't really write something that you have no experience about. And so writers spend a huge amount of time researching stuff and thinking about their own experiences. So that's all part of the process. And so the pen engraving from the heart, ink overflowing with emotion. Clearly, this is about writing from the person's own experiences, and which is why this is something that they might relate very strongly about. So, and I do like the ending a lot. The figure will forever sing through icy winters and blushing spring. It rhymes very well. The poetry of fervent mind, poet and peace, forever intertwined. Very interesting ending. Very interesting ending, because it's almost like your creative work is a extension of yourself. It's an expression of your being. And that's what makes a lot of the creative work very engaging, because it came from the heart. And it came from someone's first-hand experience. And if you put enough emotion into the writing, into the piece, it will resonate with people.
Yes.
So they call that the writer's voice. And what is the writer's voice? Basically, the writer's voice is the writer's emotional body expressed in words. And if they're very proficient at it, it can be very moving.
That's true.
Wow. Yeah, I agree with everything you said. And also, I feel like the statue that wakens to inhale and will forever sing is kind of like, when the act of journaling is kind of like a way to process your experiences. So I feel like that's what journaling does for me. So by putting my thoughts and emotions down on paper, I understand and I kind of can process what I'm going through.
It clears your thoughts.
Yeah, clears my thoughts and kind of like awakens this, I don't know, this probably this protector that sings us through, or this protector that is kind of like in the form of art, an expression of our artistic, the artistic side of ourselves. So it kind of carries us through the seasons and carries us through the changes in the seasons. So protects us, is comforts us, guides us, helps us learn, is a friend, like this extension of ourselves that you said, Mike. Like it's almost like you're breathing life into this this friend within. This is how I see. This is how I interpret this part.
Very nice. And this part that you were both mentioning, that this is like the extended part of yourself, the creation that you make. Also, it probably, if you're good, lives longer than you, in that sense that if you're an author or if you're a poet, like there's time when your personal body dies, although your soul is immortal. And it will be really, for me, it's also fascinating. Then maybe in some next life, you will encounter your own creation. And how will you see it? Will you read it and wow, this is so good? Or will you like, oh, I have different things in this life. Like I have already mastered the poetry. Now I have like music, or now I have the mathematics, or like something else to do. I'm thinking like, how will we encounter what we have done? There's this Dalai Lama's had, I don't know if he, one of very good Buddhist translator, Alexander Berzin, and he is a German, and he came back to German and he created this wonderful uh, website where he has a lot of things translated, but also where he has put a lot of materials and articles that he has thought about different Buddhist things, and he knows a lot. He has like a wide intelligence of in different areas, because Buddhism you can go, very precisely, and they have a lot of scriptures and so on. And he said one time that he created this page for his future self. So if he's gone and he's coming back in next life, hopefully he will find it, and he can more quickly get back to the track. And I was like, this is so interesting thought, that what we are creating right now, like let's say in theosophically, I can create a lot of things. I can journal, and then after I died, maybe my relatives are burning these things, and it never touches anybody. But also, like maybe you become a famous person, and somebody takes your personal journals, and they will investigate in school and write their thesis on them to understand what kind of person Clover Woos once was when she was young. Like I don't know, there could be different things, but I'm thinking, what I do now, I could create or do something that actually has effect in somehow. I can create something, like Mike was saying, this is a masculine thing to leave a mark, and then maybe you can get like this mark from some previous life. Or also, like, even if I don't mark it down, like Buddha and Jesus didn't write themselves, but their followers around them wrote those things up. So maybe if we get that good, I'm just so joking. But
Very, very, very interesting. And I had a thought on this because I think a while ago I read one of the sutras in Buddhism, but I can't actually remember which one. And it was someone asking the Buddha whether, like, it's like they're at this show, right? It's like a theater show, and someone asked the Buddha, what's the karma of the acting in theater? And the Buddha said, the karma is you're going to go to hell. And everyone's surprised, like, oh, why is that?
Wait, acting?
Yes, actors.
Oh.
Okay.
And the Buddha said because it arouses emotions in people, and that generates a lot of attachment, and it's not good to overstimulate that. And if you're like sort of, helping people to do that, then it's not great karma, and these people will be attached by by their act, and these people will be attached by the moment. So I didn't really understand what that actually meant, because at that time I was like busy making films and stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm going to hell, okay. But then I realized there is truth in that. There is truth in that. Because at the end of the day, storytelling, any kind of storytelling, it is really a kind of a way to communicate directly with the people's emotional receptors. And there are ways to do it wrong. And if you do it wrong, it's pretty much just emotional manipulation. Storytelling is emotional manipulation. They're very close. So that just occurred to me.
Yeah.
Not saying you shouldn't tell stories, but it's just something. It's just a side note that I found very interesting from the sutras.
But recently I have learned, Yataka stories of Buddha's previous life, and he told many stories about his previous life. Also because, the storytelling is awakening like emotions, but some people are in this level that they need to learn through emotions, that they need this kind of, to wait to learn. And like you said, it's so much depends how you use it. It's not what you do, but how you do it. Like there he made this film, One Fire, that we see today first time, and when the convention comes, we will see it together in a big screen in a theater.
Wow.
Yeah, that's great. And I suppose what the kind of act, there are kind of acts that purely the entire motive of the act is to purely arouse the emotions of the audience, and these kind of films are everywhere. So I think maybe that's the the kind of stories that are not as
Yes.
yeah, like you said, it's about the purpose, like why you're doing it. And yeah, so for instance, right, journalism, some people use journalism to advocate for things, and the way that they do it is to use these colorful language, to use these very emotionally provoking language, and they try to manipulate their way around. There's a lot of people that do that, and maybe that is the kind of situation the sutras were referring to.
Because I don't know what they really teach in film school, but it depends on the person. And I mean, I can see some people are playing with the emotions and things, but the thing is, how can I say, to be a good theosophist, and in that sense that you don't learn it only for yourself, but also to spread the teaching, you have to be, I feel like for myself, I have to learn how to tell a good story. I'm not quite okay how I do it. But again, like when I was reading those small versions of Vyataka stories for children, I read this one story like how there was this, okay, I tell you, there was this bunny, and she was not the ordinary bunny. She was a bunny who was thinking about how the world will end. And he was worrying about it all day. And one day, apple felt, big apple felt next to her in the ground, and she was so shocked, and she thought, okay, now it's begins. The earth is going to, like, the sky is dropping down, and we have to save. So she started running, and she gets all kinds of animals running with her and saying, oh, the world is going to end, the sky is falling down, we have to save. And all the people, all the animals are running, and there's like giraffes, and there's big animals, and the small ones, and the birds. And then there's a lion king who sees everybody is running, but he also says if they keep on running, they will reach the cliff, and then they fall down and they will all die. So he goes in front of them and says, stop. What is it? Everybody says, oh, the world is going to end, and the sky is falling. And who said that? Elephant said it. Yes, ask elephant. Elephant, no. Giraffe says. She asks giraffe, where did you get this? Oh, no, the zebras told us. Okay, he asks zebras. Zebras said, no. The next one, until he found the rabbit and asked the rabbit. The rabbit says, oh, yes, but I can show you the place. Then the lion took the rabbit, went to this place where the sky started falling, and then they understand the situation, that this is actually apple. This was not like what was going on. And then the bunny was so sad, and she said, like, okay, I will take any punishment I have to take. And then the lion says so nicely, there's no punishment because you wanted good. You were doing it to save others. So now is your thing to go and tell everybody that everything is okay. And it's not. And I'm like, this is so, because I was not expecting the lion to tell such a thing in that situation, that it was okay because you wanted good. And I really like this. I don't know, maybe I have to learn how to say it more interesting way, but I like this story because so many, you walking in the street and you said there's a big queue of people who are waiting something. There must be something cool. Let's go to this queue. A lot of people are doing something. They must know what they are doing. Let's also join. Like have this kind of mentality. Like everybody's running. Let's also run. There's something scary probably coming. Let's ask questions later. Let's do it first. But it's also, teaching you how to think before. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree. I think what you're referring to is a subset of, well, they're not really stories, but they're more like folklore. They're more like fables or oral history and those kind of things. And they're very good. They're a form of human communication for a long time. I suppose to clarify, I was referring to is a specific kind of emotional manipulative stories that are designed to change your view.
Yes.
And these ones are very nasty, and they make up like 90% of the films out there. So it's true. They're everywhere. And because people discovered that telling stories can be a very effective way to move people, to manipulate the narrative, and they do it all the time, to the point where, it gets very bland nowadays.
Wow.
But yes, oral history and folklore, and it's almost like the mythological roots it's almost like the stories that were told throughout times that has been told for thousands of years. And they're mythologies, and they're extremely powerful mythologies. We have some modern examples of mythologies like that. The Lord of the Rings is a very powerful one. Even now, it's still like the best films of all time in terms of views and the rewards, the awards and all that stuff. Still cannot be beaten. True stories are very powerful, but the market is flooded with attempts at emotional manipulation on a mass scale, and that is the problematic ones, I suppose.
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings, like I can see they have the fairies or elves who are like the more perfected person archetype, and then they have the orcs who are like more animal persons, but like little bit like over to like animals are more reasonable than oftentimes them, but there's something that is pushing them to act like this way, like urges. And then you have several layers in the middle, and where are you belong? You're this tiny person who is going this journey, and there's so much ahead of them and so much below, and they have to do it because to save the world, or this is the thing to do. And it's like, yeah, uh, in a metaphors or in a like a story, you can tell things that you cannot tell, like actually they wouldn't believe that, you know, those things are in some sense real. But I guess we have some kind of memory or feeling behind it, that there is something like that. Yeah.
Mm. Oh, this is all very interesting.
Yeah.
I have to go.
Oh, no
I
problem.
have to sleep.
Yes.
Yeah, because I worked
same.
today. So it's a bit
It was
a
so
bit time.
wonderful to
Yeah,
see
it would
you.
be so nice to, I mean, continue these conversations some another time, you know, it would be so nice.
We will have a next chance next month, and hopefully we'll have some other chance
Mhm.
meanwhile. And it's so nice to
Yes.
see you and hear your thoughts. And even if it's few of us, I really like, it's not about the quantity of people, it's about the quality of the ideas that come out. And we have so blessed to have such nice poems here.
Yes.
So thank you.
Thank you so much.
See you next month.
See
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye
See
bye.
ya. Bye bye.